Well, this past December 4th, oops, I drove my beloved husband, Jack, to a nearby hospital in Ajijic with chest pains. So he was having a heart attack. By 7 p.m., that was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. By 7 p.m., we were in the hospital still waiting for a cardiac specialist to appear. So, in the situation, I called my nephew, one of them. I had like 200 nephews. We are 15 siblings, same parents. So I called one of my nephews, who is a physician in US, and he asked me. He says, Tia, he asked me if Jack has received a specific medication, which I can't recall the name, and the doctor at the hospital told me, oh, no, we don't have that medication in this hospital. My nephew told me, Tia, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you know what? If Jack doesn't get that medication, he's going to die. Oh my God. My blood rushed to my brain, and I went Latina ballistic. Seriously. These were my words. Now, this was in Spanish, so I could express myself really well. I mean, these were like my words. I said, if my husband doesn't get that medication and something happens to him, I'm going to sue the hospital. I'm going to sue you, looking at the doctor in charge. I will go to the news. I will talk to newspapers. And mark my words, the whole world is going to know what happened here. Well, 30 minutes later, Jack had his medication. Of course. Actually, the surgeon asked me, when did this medication, he said, saved his life. Thank you, Wilfredo Mario. Thank you, God, wherever you are, my beautiful nephew. Now, by midnight, we were in an ambulance on our way to a hospital in Guadalajara under the supervision of a cardiac surgeon. And all the way, I was intensely praying with my eyes closed in the ambulance, concentrated on Jack's welfare. And we arrived at the hospital. Jack was rushed to the operating room, while I dealt with admission, paperwork. You know how it is, like when you go to a hospital. Now that completed, there was nothing more I could do other than pray and wait. So 7 excruciating hours had passed since he first had the chest pains. Finally, by myself, with everything now out of my hands, I sat down, feeling like, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. It's like, ever have that feeling during a drama or a trauma? It's like, oh my God, it's really happening, like by myself. Then, an overwhelming feeling of being alone washed over me. So I was in a hospital after midnight, while my beloved husband was having totally unexpected emergency heart surgery by medical people that I didn't know anything about, totally by myself, and not because I lack friends here, I have plenty of people that love me, but because it was now too late at night to disturb anyone. I have been so busy focusing on saving my husband's life and the pain he was in that I didn't even think about calling anyone. So I was like, oh my God. Like, I didn't see anybody there. So at that moment, the many times I have felt lonely in my life passed through my mind like a movie. I mean, in a way, I relived all the times that I felt that I was enduring life alone. Those times of despair that we all have. When I was in graduate school in New York by myself, when my mother passed away, personal health challenges that I had in the past, when an engagement ended disastrously. So all moments that I felt an intense emptiness in my heart. Then something happened. I also remembered that during those times, those difficult despair times, I had always been surrounded by angels. And I also remember that miracles always happened. Sometimes not immediately, but miracles did happen. So, at that moment, praying alone in a cold, sterile hospital corridor, I was able to center myself in prayer, breathing, and I was able to remember that even in the darkest moments of my life, I never walked alone, no matter what. What a beautiful understanding. At that moment, there was like a shift in my consciousness from being despair and feeling lonely and this, and then all of a sudden understanding the truth. I was like, wow. We are told by many spiritual sources that God, and you can call it higher self, divine wisdom, spirit, universe, whatever name we give to the unnameable, whatever name, God is present always. Even in our worst times, times of loneliness, uncertainty, times of grief, discouragement, when others forsake us, when our hopes turns into disappointments, when we don't know what to do, how many times we are like helpless. Divine wisdom is always present. So many spiritual teachings tell us the same thing in different ways, over and over. If we mention some, A Course in Miracles, Lesson 41, it says, God goes with me wherever I go. And it says that just The acceptance of this idea, God goes with me wherever I go, the acceptance of this idea will eventually overcome completely the sense of loneliness and abandonment we all feel. Lesson 156. I walk with God in perfect holiness. This lesson says that it's a good idea to ask who walks with me. To ask that, who walks with me? And it says 1,000 times a day. To ask constantly who walks with me, because we are never alone. ¿Quién camina conmigo? En español. ¿Quién camina conmigo? Who walks with me? And it says to say it, as I say, 1,000 times, and to continue asking the same question until certainty ends all doubts and establishes peace. Just with that. It encourages us to, whenever we are in moments of doubt or despair, to stop for a moment and think of his or her or its presence. To stop and think of his presence. Every year, for 1 week, I give myself the gift of spending around 7 days in silence.
My gift too.
I go to different places. It's Jack's gift. But I have been doing this since I was a child, looking for silence. I was a headache for my mother. Anyway, so I give myself the gift of spending 7 days in silence. Those are days that I spend in reflection, prayer, contemplation, deepening my spiritual awareness, facing whatever is unresolved within myself. It's nothing outside, eh? Facing whatever is unresolved within myself. This year, from June 9 to 15, I went to a silence and prayer retreat at the Carmelite Spiritual Center near Chicago. And this retreat was powerful, mind expanding. We dived into the teachings of Saint Teresa of Avila, Saint Teresita of Lisieux, Thomas Merton, Meister Eckhart, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. I mean, it was really powerful. Teresa of Avila, she taught us that to be contemplative and really aware, no matter what's going on in our lives, means to be seeking the face of God in everything, everyone, all the time, and to be seeking God's hand in every happening. We get crazy when things don't go our way. God's hand in every happening, including the moments that I felt alone after midnight in a hospital in a foreign country. All of my life, as I said, even as a child, I have lived immersed in the presence of the divine. In moments of darkness and desperation, I learned that what's important is my acceptance and practice of the truth I have learned from many spiritual teachings I have studied, and the awareness of the source of it all. So it is not only our acceptance of the truth that matters, but our awareness of the divine. My experience in life has taught me that after dealing with total honesty with something that is less than love within me, and then placing my attention in the source of all that is, my sense of oneness, tranquility, peace, certainty, joy, innocence, all grow, even if nothing has happened externally. After releasing any limitation, or during my everyday tasks, while dealing with human experiences, anytime, the most important thing is my attention, my focus on God. To seek what's holy, good, beautiful, everywhere I go, in everyone I encounter. And, hey, we don't have to go anywhere to be immersed in the presence, because it goes with us wherever we go. We don't have to go anywhere. Holiness walks with you always. You never walk alone. It is your awareness, the practice of the presence that matters. No matter where you are, what you are, or what you are going through, if you are Catholic or Jewish or Hindu, Buddhist, gay, straight, woman, whatever, we really never walk alone. And we get together on Sundays here to remind ourselves of this truth. That's what we do, to support each other, to recognize each other, to honor the divinity in each other, to practice life. That's what we do. Now, no one can teach you this. No one. To own this truth, you can rely only on your own experience and the information you have from spiritual resources. Because this message is everywhere. Again, we come here to celebrate. And the message is everywhere. For those of you who are more traditional, no? In the Bible, we read, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, because for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So look, the Gospel of Luke, there's something that I love that. It says that Jesus often withdrew into lonely places and prayed. And it says often, lonely places and pray. And Unity teaches that Jesus modeled to us how to be in constant awareness of the divine. And he was very human, eh? That's what unity teaches, and I believe so. He went through all the human emotions and experiences, feeling abandoned, lonely, disappointed, sad. He withdrew into lonely places. He didn't make a drama of whatever was going on in his life. He didn't make a big deal. Jesus withdrew into lonely places, seeking answer inside. So, in the same way that his lonely places provided a place of hope for him, the loneliness or despair you sometimes feel can promote positive change in your life. Positive change. Embrace it as a time of growth and trust that there is a very good plan for you. Allow God to work in and through you during those times. Trust that wisdom itself is so walking with you, guiding you through spells of isolation for a greater purpose that you might not know right now. It's a greater purpose. Look, at the end of every service, we say Unity's beloved prayer for protection. And you know the words, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God, and so on. We do this to remind ourselves that this truth is always present, accompanying us through all experiences, good or bad. Beloved ones, listen. Suffering is a reality for everyone in this world. As I would say, punto. Suffering is a reality for everyone in this world. We all, at times, will experience sorrow, distress, and we can choose peace in the midst of pain. Peace is a choice. It's a choice. We can have peace in our heart in this world. Yes, it is possible. We can feel comfort in every type of affliction that we experience, and we can bring comfort and peace to others as well. If it is in our heart, we will bring it to whoever we encounter. You are always, siempre under God's loving care. Now, you make the choice if the universe is a place of love or a place of fear. We all have free will. It's your choice. So today, this is my invitation. Keep in your heart that all spiritual paths were sent to open up the path of light for you to remember that you never walk alone. God bless you all. Thank you.